Hello friends, I hope you're having a great day today. I gotta say, my question everything, think about it Thursday, it's feeling a little unmotivated at this point because there are things that I would like to talk about, but I have plenty of things to talk about. I'll just read off this list. Why are we the only species that pay to live here when we're supposed to be the most advanced? This thing in childhood, sunscreen, taxes. Taxes. Let's just say this, okay? Like, they literally take money from us in every paycheck and then act like it's this act of God, this miraculous, wonderful thing that they're so considerate to do when they give some of it back at the end of the year or beginning of next. Sounds like a very toxic relationship to me. Weird weather patterns. I'll talk about this one. That's a good one. Weird weather patterns. So I can get into a little like spiritual kind of thing with this because I believe that we are sons, that we are DNA of the divine. And if he, she, God, source, whatever you want to call it. I have a hard time like pinning down what I actually want to call God, source. It's really hard for me to just like name it because it's just, I feel like it's almost too big to give a name. So it's getting harder and harder for me to pin down a name, especially when I'm talking to different types of people. Because like in the Christian world, I would just say God, but then in like my close home group, I would say like Yahweh, Yeshua, but that's not, I just kind of like change the name of it with whoever I'm talking to. But anyways, I digress. So since I believe that we are DNA of the divine, and we'll just say he created everything, including the weather and the skies and all of that. Why wouldn't we be able to control it or nurture it as we are supposed to nurture the earth? Why wouldn't we be able to do that with the weather? So the dark side always does a counterfeit of what is truth, or what we're supposed to do, right? So if they are over here manipulating the weather, that means to me that we should be over here deciding, helping it not to destroy things, calming it down, dictating over it. It's not something that I like really hear a lot of people talk about, but this is something that I literally do, and I'm not kidding. We have a lot of storms, thunderstorms that turn into tornadoes a lot of the time, especially where I currently live, because we're kind of in a bowl. So if a tornado hits, it goes through the bowl and then it'll stop when it hits the hills. So since I've lived here like 3 years, I lived here when I was younger too, but recently since I've lived here, and even where I used to live, 30 minutes away, anytime it would start to storm, I will stand either on my porch or at the front door, back door, wherever I can see the weather, whether I can see it. And there's like wind and rain and just craziness. The trees are like looking like they're gonna fall over. I will stand get my feet firmly planted and hold my hands out, and I will imagine myself growing, expanding up into the atmosphere and hugging the weather. I literally like become a giant. I will hug it and tell it it does not have to cause destruction. Let me preface it by saying I will kind of assess what I feel like it needs. Because sometimes I feel like it's enraged, like it's a being of itself and it's like angry, and which is causing all of the destruction to people's property and like the wind and the trees falling over and breaking and whatnot. So whether I feel like it's destructive and needs to like calm down, or it's being manipulated by the dark side, I'll just assess the situation. But sometimes if it's enraged, I will act like it, like I do with my child, and hold it and say, you don't have to be angry. You can have your wind and your rain and your lightning and your thunder, but you will not cause destruction. But you know, that kind of thing. And then if I feel like it's being manipulated, I will do the same thing, expand myself. I see my spirit, I guess, get bigger. And I will tell it that you will not cause destruction or chaos. You can rain and you can thunder, you can lightning, and you can have wind, but you need to calm down. It's literally like what I tell it. And I kid you not, every time I do this, the storm that they say was going to be awful is not awful. And the wind calms down, the rain slows down. I'll have thunder every once in a while, lightning every once in a while, but it's not ever nearly as bad as it could have been, or as they were predicting it to be. So, yeah, to me, it is absolutely no question that the weather is controlled and manipulated. Absolutely no question. It's not even a second thought in my mind. And I very rarely hear people talking about this kind of stuff. But I just feel like if we are meant to rule and reign on this earth, part of that is dictating and having control over the weather as well. That's also something I've kind of done. Oh, I see these orbs. Those orbs are everywhere. Good grief. Hello. That's something that I have continued to do is, I have gone, whether you call it, I don't know, there's so many things people can call it. Some people call it astral projecting or channeling or whatever. I don't know. I don't have a lot of language for these things because I don't know if it's exactly what those people that say that they're doing that do. But I have gone and seen the machines that they use to control the weather. They're usually in the middle of the ocean, where the ones I've seen are. And yeah, it's absolutely no question to me. So anytime we have weird weather or just a storm out of nowhere, I'm like, okay. And the thing about it is people could ask, okay, so why don't you stop destructive things from happening all over the world? You gotta start small. Hear me out. If you are not taking authority or having authority over yourself, your family, your neighborhood, your community, there's no way that you can have authority over the world. Unless you're specifically told by source, God, to change something, in my opinion. Wow, got lots of orbs. I'm seeing them in the camera. So I, at the current moment, only feel like I have authority over this area that I'm in, because this affects directly my family, most of my family. My dad is across the street. Me and my husband and my child is here. So I feel like I have authority over this right now. There have been times, since my husband is from Mozambique and there's been massive floods and hurricanes over there, I have calmed down to some extent those also, because I am married to someone that's from there. So I feel like it's part of my family too, or that region is. So it's not really a question everything kind of thing, because it's no question for me if the weather is being controlled. But to kind of take it in another direction, start playing with stuff like this and just see what happens. You know, doesn't have to be the weather. It can mean different things. You know, those people, I've seen them on TikTok so many times. Those people that can make, they have like telekinesis. They can make something move with their mind. Same kind of thing. I'm just doing it to the weather. That's all. Have a great day.